technology is a blessing for neurodiversity. I think it removes our authenticity. You basically become a bot. I want someone to fully understand the frustration that I'm going through. I want someone to fully understand how important that resolution is to me.
Hi everyone, it's been a little while, but we're back with another episode of the Iris Pod. Delighted today to be joined by Marco Ndrecaj, Director of Customer Experience at SSCL, one of our valued clients. Marco, great to see you again.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Yeah,
very excited.
It's great. And a sunny day in London, so you brought
wonderful.
the weather.
Yeah.
Let's start here. Tell us about SSCL, tell us about your role and what got you into the work that you do in the contact center industry.
Yeah, so SSCL, we're the biggest provider of critical services to central government, front office, back office. We're a multi-award winning business. I think we're only the second business in the UK to have a 5-star accreditation from the CCMA. That deems you formally industry leading. By the way, we were the first one to ever achieve it. And so a lot of highly complex, emotive type of work. In terms of myself, I've been with SSCL, Tom, for just over 5 years. It's my first stint in the public sector. Previously, all my working life has been in the private sector. It's really different. The pace, it's a bit slower. There's a lot of red tape. However, the work that we do is extremely meaningful. You really make an impact out there for society. I've been in the industry for about 20 years. And I didn't actually fall into the customer experience industry or the contact center industry by chance, like a lot of my colleagues have. It became an aspiration of mine because my beginnings were very humble. I migrated here from Albania with my family. I couldn't speak the language. I was really struggling. The first job that I had was washing pots. Not even washing dishes, washing pots in the basement of a restaurant in Cardiff. The first ever promotion that I had, I remember, was from a pot washer to a dishwasher, where I had the luxury of using a dishwasher to make my life easier. And I used to go on the floor and I used to see individuals, tie, shirt. There used to be a lot of contact centers around the restaurant. They would come for, their lunch breaks, business meetings. And I said to myself, wow, that's where I want to get to. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Well, congratulations on the journey. Yeah, it's a fascinating story. And I guess that base level experience and working your way up, you see humans interacting, communicating both effectively and then maybe where there's some issues at play. So does that set you up for the work that you do to lead customer experience for, as you say, demanding clients, public sector, demanding and quite challenging circumstances that maybe some people are calling into your contact center to address?
Yeah, it has. I mean, I have very, very high standards and a very strong work ethic. I think that's, I guess, my secret to my success so far is the work ethic. I always strive for best in class. Yes, people are absolutely the key asset to deliver a robust customer experience strategy and outputs. But expectations now are different to what they used to be, Tom, a few years back. Hence why we need to start adopting the right tools, the right technology, so they can become a co-pilot. They can become the tools that our skilled workforce can use to actually delight our customers at every touch point.
Marco, SSCL has won a lot of awards in the industry for everything that you've just spoken about. And you personally recently were the award winner of contact center leader of the year. Obviously, there's a team behind you that allows you to do that work. Tell us a little bit about what that means to you personally, but also for the team that you work with.
Yeah, it was an absolutely unbelievable feeling. I'll be honest with you, Tom. I wasn't though going to go for it. I did not want to go for it. I was, privileged and lucky enough to win the Senior Leader of the Year for the Welsh Contact Center Awards a few years back. And I thought, you know what? Now is my turn to actually make sure that I create the foundations for my teams and my business so they can go out there and be recognized. It was my team. They insisted that I go for this one, and they called it the last dance. Do this for us, kind of thing. And I accepted. I thought, when I accepted, I thought to myself, oh my God, what did I do here? Because when I looked at who I was against, some amazing individuals, from some huge organizations and logos. So yeah, when I won on the night, I wasn't expecting that. Let's just say it as it is. But yeah, absolutely buzzing. It's one of the best, I guess, nights that I've had in my career so far. Just seeing my team there by my side, and that weight got off my shoulders when I realized I didn't let them down, kind of thing. So yeah, absolutely amazing. But as you said, it's myself and my team and the business. My boss as well, Kenny Morris, is someone who's very, very supportive, who's always given me the autonomy to actually do what I need to do. He's given me the trust to put the strategy in place, to build the team around me, and to put the customer experience strategy and deploy it. So yeah, it's a team effort. Although I got to go on stage, it's a team effort.
And lift the trophy. And I hope it's at home somewhere on a mantelpiece, or is it in the office?
No, it's at home. Yeah.
Excellent. I think it connects quite nicely to you here in, you're regarded as a key thought leader in this industry. You were on our panel last year at the Call and Contact Center Expo, which we were very grateful for your insights and your thoughts. But SSCL is a leader in one of probably the key metrics in this industry, which is staff attrition. Is that about culture? Is that about leadership? Is it about buy-in to the client's needs? Is it about adoption of technology? What's the secret behind that market-leading success?
You're right. Our attrition is one of the best in the industry, and it's something that I'm really, really proud of. A lot of hard work has gone into it. It hasn't happened by chance. It's a mixture of the things that you just mentioned. Culture is absolutely key, but what underpins culture is purpose. They need to understand why they do what they do. I'll give you a very quick example, Tom. When we went through the CCMA accreditation, the assessors randomly picked about 10-15 advisors across the contact center. And one of the questions that he asked my staff was, what do you do? Expecting, your typical answer, I'm on the phones, I'm on live chat, I look after case management and so on and so forth. But no one did that. What they said is, we make sure that the streets of London are policed. We make sure that HMPPS, all the prisons across the country, are fully staffed and fully equipped. We make sure that we have enough border officers to keep our borders secure. And that is the purpose. They fully understand the impact that they actually have, not just within SSCL, but across society. And you cannot buy that. Yes, we do, we focus quite a bit on engagement. We invest quite a bit on engagement, and we make sure we have the right tools for them to be the best that they can be. We deploy an AI to make life easier for them, to make sure all they have to focus on is the complexities that those queries bring. And we deploy things like your solution, Iris Clarity, because it's one of those I guess, one of those solutions that you don't actually think that you need it until you have it. And then you realize and you think to yourself, how did we actually deliver the service that we delivered before without it? So yeah, it's about catering for them.
And another accolade that SSCL is nominated for and actually won is all about diversity, equality, inclusivity. And I guess that's an important factor both in terms of staffing and the customer that you're speaking to.
No, absolutely. Diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging is something extremely important, and it's something that should be BAU, but I feel it's not in most cases. As someone, from a different background, someone that sounds very different from his peers in terms of my accent and my cultural background, I really value it, and I'm a huge advocate because I genuinely believe that those differences are people's superpowers. I mean, honestly, if I was in the office and if I looked left, right, and center, and all I saw was Marcos, that would be it for me. It would be very boring, and nothing would be done. So I guess this is the beauty of making sure that we cater and we promote the differences that people bring into the workplace. That is what breeds innovation, and that is what will make us go forward and make us authentic. In terms of the customers as well, it's about making sure that we cater for them, making sure that we provide them accessible channels and channels of choice. I'm not a fan of diverting customers through a self-service route, because that potentially is a bit cheaper for me to run. That's not why I do what I do. It's about making sure that the customers have everything they need, and if they want to get in touch with us, they can choose what option, and mainly is voice still.
And a lot of the queries and the conversations that your team are handling are complex, maybe
Very.
distressing,
Very.
maybe life-changing moments that they're experiencing. How far do you have to go in terms of training your staff to handle those moments and be able to empathize, deliver the right information at that point in time, but also conscious of their own mental well-being? Because there's a lot that they could maybe carry away from their jobs when they're dealing with these matters.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. Training is absolutely crucial, especially with the complexities that we deal with, vulnerable customers. But training can be delivered. What way organizations need to really think about and make sure they have the right strategies in place is the impact that leaves on the advisor. Resilience training, that's really, really important, because let's be honest, more straightforward queries, let's call them straightforward queries, now go through self-service. So what our colleagues are left with is with highly complex, highly emotive query after query after query, and that can be emotionally draining. So that's why it's extremely important to look after the well-being. Is extremely important to keep the communication channels open between advisor and line managers. And it's extremely important for them to feel that they work for an organization that truly cares. They're not just talking the talk, they're walking the walk. So if you need to take 10 minutes or 15 minutes, you take 15 minutes to make sure that you're okay before you deal with the next customer. So it's that balanced approach. Tools, training, absolutely. That capability, absolutely. But it's about your mental health nurses and support in place.
Neurodiversity is obviously something that we're a lot more aware of, and the world is moving to cater to the needs. I know you've spoken a lot about this, and we talked about it last year.
Yeah.
Are we doing enough? How can we do more? Is it about just accepting differences, or is it something that we can lean into with adoption of technologies and different things that can make the work environment more of an enabling platform for people with such conditions, but also considering the customer also that may be suffering from something of this nature?
I genuinely think it's not about accepting those differences. It's about promoting those differences. I see those differences as individual superpowers. I said that earlier, and that's what makes our industry so unique and so amazing to work in. We are now at an era where technology has advanced, and technology enables a lot of, blockers that we used to have in the past. It starts from the recruitment process. It starts from the onboarding strategy. The onboarding step is absolutely crucial. That's where you tie basically with the capabilities that we have, with the potential support that may be needed, and the technology solutions that you can actually bring in to make sure that we are setting those individuals for success, not to struggle throughout their journey. Technology is a blessing for neurodiversity.
You mentioned just a minute ago about voice, that most people still opt for voice. Recently, Contact Babel showed that a lot of businesses are still, the majority are still seeing high demand for voice channels. I think it's been rammed down our throat a little bit that automation and chatbots and I won't name them, but some brands deliberately disguise where their phone number is, and you have to go through a complicated chat.
Very frustrating, isn't it?
It's very frustrating.
Yeah.
It's incredibly frustrating when you want to just get to an answer. Where do you see this going, the voice channel? We were in the Philippines recently, and there was a few questions from people not within the industry who clearly understand this, but from some of the kind of enablers in and around the industry that said, well, we see voice disappearing over 20-year cycle. I just can't see it.
I genuinely cannot see it either. I remember I was sat at a forum about 15 years ago now, and this well-known industry speaker delivered a presentation, great presentation by the way, and their key message was, or key question was, will there be voice by 2018? I think it was saying they were saying at the time. Now we've seen a huge increase in self-service for straightforward queries that they shouldn't even be queries. That allows us to get all the reporting and feed it through our CI, continuous improvement, to make sure that those customers don't have to actually even go on the portal and check. Instead, they get prompts out. But vulnerable customers, they're increasing, at least in this country. Complexity is increasing, and expectation is increasing. Voice is absolutely key. If I have something that I really care about, that impacts me or impacts my family, honestly, I'm not going to go and have a chat with a bot or whatever AI there is there. I want to speak with someone. I want someone to fully understand the frustration that I'm going through. I want someone to fully understand how important that resolution is to me or my family. And I want to have the reassurance that they fully understood, and I can go away knowing that they'll take care of it. And unfortunately, you can't get that with technology or AI. Will voice disappear? Absolutely not. No, we're humans. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I think it is about that choice and simple resolution through some degree of automation for sure. Because actually some people prefer it, right? If I don't have to wait and speak to somebody, I'll avoid it at all costs. But when it's a very important matter, I'm going to pick the phone up, like you say.
And those are calls that potentially the volume will not be what it is today, Tom, but I think there'll be long and more complex calls. And that's what we're starting to see at SSCL already. We don't measure AHT, average handling time, because we want to make sure that our advisors are not pressured to come to a resolution. They actually take their time to listen to the customer and provide the best support they can. But calls are taking longer and longer and longer, and our training and the capabilities are increasing at the same time. It just shows that the complexities are increasing.
Is the first call resolution a more relevant statistic for you to track?
Yes, so our first contact resolution, because it's not just calls, we actually measure live chat and we measure emails as well. It's 93%. Again, that's industry leading, because the average, if you look at contact bubble, is about what was it, 77? I think something along those lines.
Something like those.
Yeah, and again, that comes through the investment in training, making sure that our advisors have the autonomy to actually make decisions on the call, and they have the right tools as well. So it's not capability wise taking longer, but it's the increased complexities that are pushing.
Do you think this story around voices going away, do you think that this was kind of bundled in with this AI hype cycle that we've been through? And I think we're possibly emerging out the other side of it. Don't get me wrong, a lot of AI out there is incredibly powerful,
Yeah.
but I feel like we've been through this kind of AI for everything cycle, that we're moving maybe out the other end of it. Do you think that that's, almost the backdrop of this narrative of voices going away, but the reality is it's not?
I think AI will absolutely transform our industry in the years to come. It will enable us to reach levels that we haven't reached yet. However, I think in 2019, when did ChatGPT? 2021.
2021, something around there.
I think people got a bit overly excited, and I mean, all you had to do is just read headlines from major newsletters out there. It will not impact voice in terms of removing it, but it will enable advisors to provide better customer service. We cannot deliver what we need to deliver based on the expectations that customers have now without AI. AI is here to stay, and AI will become a co-pilot, but it will not replace voice. In my opinion, based on the research that I've done, based on the trends that I've studied, it will not.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I'd like to get your thoughts on something. Maybe, there has been some controversy around it, and it relates to some of our, I'll call them frenemies out there, and it's this subject of accent matching, neutralization, whatever you want to, translation, whatever way you want to call it. As someone with an accent that's,
me.
very, very strong Welsh accent that you have.
Yeah, absolutely,
having lived in Wales. Where do you stand on this? Because I'm conflicted on it.
Yeah, I've actually read a couple of articles on LinkedIn not too long ago, and I am conflicted. So as I was climbing the corporate ladder, let's say, and in my career, one of the things I always struggled with was that I didn't sound the same as everyone else. And that really impacted my confidence and self-belief. Because I felt, if you will end up at that exec level, you have to kind of sound a certain way, look a certain way, act a certain way. And it only took for one of my former leaders, a great guy, to sit down and say, the reason why we recruited you is because of you, who you actually are, the authentic Marco, not, for you to come here as someone and become something else. And I started thinking of it as, all those differences are my superpower. That's what makes me different. That's what makes me, be remembered by individuals, be it for good or for bad. But I don't sound like you, as an example. And as time went on, Tom, I grew in confidence. Now, I listened to an audio on YouTube. You can actually, I'm not sure if you've done it. You can go on YouTube and this organization, which we will not name, they've put some videos out there. I think it removes authenticity. You basically become a bot, trying to sound like something that you're not. From a compliance perspective as well, I don't know where we would stand with that. Is basically masking someone's authentic voice. Would I deploy that in any of my contact centers? Absolutely no, because I promote differences. I promote, those different cultures, different backgrounds. Yeah, it's a funny one. It's one that I still haven't made my mind up, though, to be honest with you. What do you think?
I'll tread carefully on this one, because obviously, competition is a very good thing for us and for any industry. If you're the single player, then you're probably, barking up the wrong tree.
Of course, yeah.
I reflect all the thoughts that you said, and actually, for me, I don't know. Let's be really direct about this conversation. You had a lot of chatter some years ago about offshoring of call centers and British consumers saying, well, I don't want to speak to someone over in that country. And that never sat well with me.
Yeah.
I always thought that was a pretty kind of poor line to take. Ultimately, I think it's about that empathetic connection. And I think if the person who's on the side of the brand, the business, and is representing their brand, their business, their product, truly takes time to understand what I'm asking them to help me with, I don't think accent matters. As long as it's a clear line, as long as I can clearly hear them, it really doesn't matter to me as long as my issue is resolved. Now, I think where it's like, get them in, average handling time maybe is the kind of driving force behind their KPI measurement, and get them off the line as soon as possible. I think it then stacks issues and people get frustrated. It's like, well, I couldn't understand them and this, and they, maybe it's something to do with that kind of stacking of negativity. I'm in the camp very much like you are. Let's embrace people's differences, including accent. And if we can understand them from a clarity perspective without wanting to use the company product name in a silly way, I think that's what matters more than mirroring how I speak.
I totally agree. And AHD might get compounded because of the reasons that you outlined. But then again, that's a very old school way of doing things, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, companies are putting it into their contact centers, and if there's good reason for them to do that, then good luck to them.
Yeah,
but
of course,
I think also if we think about a market that we're particularly focused on at the minute, the Philippines, alongside the UK, Europe, and US markets. The whole point of why BPO became a big thing, and Jack Madrid and all of the team around the industry there drove it, is because the accent was pretty neutral and understandable to Western cultures. So, I'm pretty clear that it's something that we're not in the fore camp for.
Yeah, I'm on the fence on this one again, because I remember myself how it made me feel at times. But I'm on the fence for this one, to be honest with you.
We'll pick this one up maybe in a year. This feels like it's now a theme, right? We're going to do this once a year and track through until voice disappears off the planet, which we never. I think, we're almost out of time here, but I want to get your take on compliance. You mentioned it there in terms of authenticity, but compliance is obviously such a huge thing for what SSCL is doing. How can we strike a balance? Because I feel like there's so many different hoops to jump through to verify and to ensure that my data is secure, but I also want to have an open conversation. How do we navigate this minefield? Because it feels like something that could catch a lot of businesses out.
I genuinely think it's about, again, it goes to basics. It's about the right training and the right call structure. Because if you have the right call structure, you can, get away with all that. You can do all the boring bits to start with, or you can use technology, which we are deploying actually a piece of technology now that will take care of all the ID&V side of things. And then once they get linked to an advisor, they can just have an open and honest conversation about whatever they are calling for. So we don't have to go through them repeating themselves. The working models have changed as well. You've got a lot of individuals now and a lot of organizations that have their staff working from home, or hybrid approach, where half of the week is at home, half of the week is in the office. We used to have, Tom, an issue at SSCL where we had customers at times complain that they could hear dogs barking in the background, or they could hear, noise in the background, and so on and so forth. And that's why it was important for us to kind of look out there and see how we can eliminate those issues, because compliance and noise, there's the direct correlation there, isn't it? To make sure that you have a clear, concise conversation and nothing gets missed or misinterpreted. And we were, I guess, lucky. We partnered with you guys, and that has been a success. I was telling Chris earlier that we deployed some new laptops not too long ago, rolled out some new laptops, and we didn't have Clarity installed yet. And Matt, who is my product owner, and he looks after the innovation and technology side of things, he phoned me. He said, Marco, you will not believe this, but we've got advisors that are basically saying, if you're not going to install Clarity, I'm going to struggle with the calls, because they got so used to it now. And now they really see the difference, and that has enabled us to allow people to work from home even more if they want to, because that noise and those, I guess, CSAT detractors that we used to have in the past, where customers would complain about noise, have absolutely disappeared. So what I'm trying to say is compliance, training, tick, and the right tools, tick.
Excellent. And I know that agents typically reject new technology, right? It's hard because it confuses the work pattern, and it really needs to have a solid business case and a solid benefit to them.
Yeah, but this type of solution, it's a very easy sell, because it's not doing anything for them or taking anything away from them. It's just making it clear for them to understand the customer. So why wouldn't you go for it?
Perfect. Final question, because we could probably sit here and talk for another half an hour, but we're out of time. What are you looking forward to tonight at the awards, and what are you looking forward to over the next couple of days? Because we're sitting here on Tuesday before the Call and Contact Center Expo, which is why you're in town.
Yes. So very much looking forward to the European Contact Center Awards. I was privileged enough to be one of the judges. And it's amazing to be in the presence of the best of the best. So I'm absolutely looking forward to celebrating the excellence of our industry. Tomorrow, I'll be going at the Contact Center Expo, meet with old and new colleagues, and just scan around, see what the state of our industry is at the moment from a tech perspective. There's a lot of buzz out there, new solutions. The majority of them are the same solutions from last year. They're just branded differently. But very much looking forward to it, to be honest with you.
We'll enjoy it. Hopefully we'll bump into you while we're there.
Cheers,
and Marco, thank you so much. I find you incredibly insightful, incredibly real about the industry, and it's very welcome. Please keep doing what you do.
Thank you very much, Tom.
All right.
Cheers, mate.
And thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Iris Pod. We'll be back with more episodes soon. See you then. Thanks, Marco.
Cheers. Bye-bye.